automated testing tool. Excuse me. Well, the first project I'm going to talk about is the portable patient monitoring system. It fulfills an objective that we don't need to depend, that we don't want to depend only on the network of the healthcare organizations. This is a real-time healthcare system that overcome or solve the problems when failure happens to a router or a switch in the network of the healthcare organization, like a hospital, of course. So we want to depend on different communication standards so that whenever a network is having some failures, we don't want the monitoring data of our patients to be lost anywhere or to be cut off. So we used 4 communication standards to fulfill this objective. We used radio, 3G, WSDMA, UMTS, which is a 3G standard, GPRS, and the SMS of GSM, of course. Of course, there is a sending order. If the first one, for example, fails, then we will move to the second communication standard without losing any data. We just want to continue our communication between the 2 entities of the project, which are the patient interface unit that sends the monitoring status of each patient to a central station. The central station is the second entity of the project, or the second part. The central station should be located in the control room in a hospital, for example. It doesn't have to be in a hospital, this project. It can be at homes, because this is portable, and you can install the patient interface unit on the bed of the patient, and then you can connect or configure the patient interface unit to communicate with the central station, and then you can have a full system working for you. This is, of course, a proof of concept project we did in advanced electronics company, and alhamdulillah, we've successfully managed to prove the concept. This is the flow diagram. The patient can issue a panic button to indicate an emergency situation. So this will be, so the central station can be alarmed. And we have the Android phone. We have an Android phone, which is a part of the patient interface unit, that we can see the sensors readings. The patient interface unit, of course, has sensors connected to it. These sensors can measure, for example, the blood pressure of the patient, the body temperature, and then sends those data to the central station to monitor the status of each patient. As I said, we have 4 communication standards we are depending on. We have the radio, we have the 3G and GPRS, and we have finally the SMS. SMS only sends text data, so in that case, we cannot rely on the webcam, which is a part of the patient interface unit, to start a webcam stream on the patient. The context diagram of the portable patient monitoring system is this, and we have 4 kinds of users for the project. We have the patient, who can issue a panic button whenever an emergency situation occurs. We have the operator, which is the user that is located in the control room to monitor this, the patient's status. And we have the observer. This user could be a doctor or a nurse that observes the patient. And the observer user can, of course, send observation notes to the center station. And we have finally the maintainer. The maintainer is the user who configures and fixes the problems of the patient interface unit and the center station. These are the block diagrams of the patient interface unit and the center station. This is the different components. These are the different components of the patient interface unit. We have, as we said, 4 communication standards: the radio through the radio unit, 3G and GPRS and SMS through the 3G and GSM module. And we have also a webcam to monitor to start the webcam stream over the patient. We have also a push button to indicate or to represent the panic button. We have the Android system, could be a phone or a tablet, to communicate with the patient interface unit to see the sensors readings, and to send notes to the central station, of course. And all of these components are connected to the Orion Minitank, as I said before, controller. And we have also the central station. It's a regular PC, and it is connected to an SPR radio to communicate with the other radio on the other side. The radio, of course, has a range that is 5 kilometers, and of course, if we exceed that range, we cannot use the radio for its data connection. We have the GSM module to receive the SMS data, the SMS messages from the 3G GSM module, and for the 3G and GPRS, they communicate with the central station through a public static IP, of course, as a data connection. These snapshots represent the app that we have developed for the patient interface unit. We have added a level of security to ensure that each person that is involved with the patient to verify himself before entering any notes for the corresponding patient. So you have to authenticate yourself first and then connect through Bluetooth to the patient interface unit, and then you can see the sensors readings, and of course after that you can send any notes, pharmaceutical notes, observation notes, or anything. The central station, these are a snapshot of the central station. As you can see here, this is a webcam stream from the patient's room to the central station. And we have the list of patients here. Okay, so you can choose any patient and then click on camera to start the webcam streaming. And then we can send a note, of course, to any patient of from the list, so that it can be received at the central station, and then the central station can take action, of course. That was the first project. The second project is the military vehicle controller automated testing tool. I was asked to develop a portable testing tool to make a tool that can test controllers. These controllers are to be installed in military vehicles. So the thing is, I developed a program. This program should be portable, so I figured that I should use a UFD, a USB flash drive, and I will install a portable operating system like the Linux Ubuntu, and then I install my application on the operating system so that it adds the portability feature. So I use the USB flash drive to add the portability and to test the controllers one by one. The application should should uh, s- should have some testing criteria for each interface and each resource of the controller itself. The resources are like the GSM module inside of the controller, the CPU, RAM, HDD. We see if it meets some requirement, and then we can decide if it fails or it passes. For example, we can test the RS-232 by using a loopback, where we can send a set of characters in an order, and we see if we get the same order, the same set of characters at the same order, then the RS-232 is functional at this way. We can see that for each interface or each port there is a testing criteria for it. For example, another example would be the RJ45 interface. Of course, the RJ45, if you connect it to a network using a LAN net cable, there is something called the IP table. This table should contain the local host IP of the computer system, which is 127.0.0.1. And if we connect it or plug the LAN network to a LAN cable, this should give us another IP this should include another IP in the IP table. So if we connect it to a working network and we didn't see any IP added to the IP table, then RJ45 has a malfunction for it. The interfaces are RS-232, RS-422, USBs, VGAs, PS2s, and the resources are like what they said, the GSM module, CPU, RAM, and HDD, the hard disk drive. These pictures display the controller that I have worked on to develop the testing tool on it. This is the GSM, that one above, the one there. This is the GSM port, and it has, as you can see here, this is the SIM card of the GSM module. As you can see, these are militarized ports, not the ones we were talking about the last slide. So we use what is called a testing cable to convert that militarized port to the ports that we know, like USBs, RS-232s, and so on. For example, here, these testing cables have to be there in order to perform a complete test on the controller. And of course, we use one of the USBs for our portable testing tool, and then we can see the results of the application, and then a report will be included and printed so that we can see the results of the test, the controller, and then we can, after that, if it passes all the tests, we can use it in the military vehicle. This is the military vehicle we are talking about, and I think the testing tool have been used over 50 times to test 50 controllers, and I've got some news in the beginning of this semester that they are using the same testing tool to test another arrived package of controllers. This is the second project, of course. Well, I will conclude my presentation now. As a conclusion, I want you to remember the first slide that I told you I want you to store in your random access memory. For you to compare the areas of COE that I have learned in computer engineering as a computer engineering student, and the areas that I have worked on at Advanced Electronics Company in Riyadh. So as you can see, we have embedded systems, software development, mobile computing, computer networks, data communications, network security, operating systems, client-server applications, and finally, hardware testing. So if you can remember the areas of computer engineering we've discussed at the first slide of this presentation, you should get the idea that the computer engineering department is preparing the students the right way, and they are directing the students to the right direction. And if you like CV and you join the Department of Computer Engineering for your quest of knowledge, you will be a true computer engineer that can be a good asset to any companies of the job market. Well, that's it. Thank you very much. And I don't know, as a catchy phrase, I would end my presentation with, this is what a computer engineer does. So this is just the end of the presentation. We would like to start the discussion now. If you have any questions or any concerns, this is the time for it. So any questions?
Have question? Thank you. I have a question. Usually, if nobody asks, then I'm asking. Because we're having this seminar for a lot of time, so we will keep you staying here until the end. One of the things, for example, and you stressed on it, which is the fact that how computer engineering can relate somehow to what we are doing. Now, can we tell us about the valuable skills? Not I mean the technical skills. You mean the personal skills, the thing that you like the department, or not the department, even you as Ashraf. Somehow you had this. What are the skills that made you a very valuable member of AAC during your co-op?
Mm-hmm.
How were you interfering with those senior engineers? This kind of thing.
Well, as a computer engineering student, I've learned to practice things. I have learned to solve the problems every day at my quest of knowledge, of course. And I have learned that I should work hard on the projects. I should understand the basic things, of course, to get to the accomplished things and to make them easy, of course. And I've learned to ask the true questions or the right questions at the right time to get me to the next level, of course. This, I don't know, you should work on projects. You should practice everything you learn here, and then you will absolutely find it so easy to develop embedded systems and to develop each project you will be assigned. Sure. Any other concerns?
Any other concerns? First of all, honestly, I didn't expect all that work can be done in a Saudi company, and especially in a co-op program. So I greet you actually. It is an A+ or even A++ co-op. What I want to ask about these projects, Mr. Ashraf, were they a team project, or I mean, did you do it in a collectivism environment, or they assigned it just to Ashraf to do it alone?
Okay. Well, first of all, I have been assigned with a supervisor, and this supervisor is the one who should ask me to perform the tasks and projects. The first project, which is the patient monitoring system, project manager of the project was the supervisor, and I have been accompanied with an EE major student who was a co-op student from KFPM also, and he helped me with some of the tasks to perform the projects. And for the first project, the second project, I was working alone. It doesn't need actually that much of effort to perform the testing tool, and I wanted to experience. So that's a good opportunity for me to experience and to learn from working on these kind of projects alone, of course. So it was, some of them were with two team members. Some of them were individual projects.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Yusuf.
Thanks, Ashraf, for this wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
I was privileged to have you as a student for the co-op program. My specific question is, what kind of soft skills did you learn as a computer engineering student, non-technical, that helped you perform well during the co-op training here at AEs?
It's a sort.
Well, I learned never to calm down when a problem is when I'm thinking about the problem. So just to read and research about it, for example, just to feel relieved when I solve the problem, of course. That should be one. The other thing would be, I don't know. For example, I don't know.
So you basically need self-learning skills, right?
Yeah, self-learning skills, of course. Because you will need that. For example, I started with Java and in KVB as a programming language. But in advanced electronics, when I finished my co-op, I have learned C, C++, Python, Visual C#, and Visual C++, which is Microsoft C++. And of course, I enhanced my experience as a Java programmer. So, and when I was in KVM, I learned about the x86, for example, and x88 microprocessors. But when I went there, I have interacted with processors, different kinds of processors, and the thing is, the things we are learning here are not the things we will face in the job market, but are the things that will make you suitable, make you a self-learner that can enhance or expand the knowledge to fulfill whatever is assigned, whatever task you have been assigned. So, any other answers?
Yeah, I have more. Two questions actually, Ashraf. The first one is that you were saying that, or even it's a fact that in AAC there are some computer engineers, there are some electrical engineers, some computer sciences as well. So my first question is that you as a computer engineering and your partner was an EE, right? So how, for example, you came from somehow two different backgrounds, right? From two different majors. Was he a KFBMer or? Yes. So how is the relation between what you were studying here and what you did there in co-op? Do you want the second question as well? Is that during the first week? I think for those who are still in the freshman or whatever, or who are heading toward co-op soon, they want to know. For example, when I first get to co-op, the first week in the company, really, it's very tough for us. You know this. So what should be done? What should be done as a newly admitted or newly hired co-op trainee in a company? What are the things that you should need to prove yourself and to make excellent work during the 7 months? Thank you.
Well, for you, the first question, I have worked with the LE engineer, of course, but it was easy because he was from KVM, so there are, standards from here for you to be a student in KVM. And these standards can include the hard workers. So the communication was easy between us to understand each other because he's EE, of course, after all, and I know some EE concepts, and he knows some COE concepts because they are related somehow, the EE and computer engineering, of course. So it was not that difficult for me to communicate with the EE. And for the second question, the first 2 weeks actually was the most boring 2 weeks.
Disaster,
of
right?
Experience. But you can, for example, read about the things that you might use in your the rest of the co-op period. So I advise any one of you who is going for co-op, if you didn't find anything to do at the first 2 weeks or the first I don't know, first month, let's say, you should learn. You are a self-learner. You should be learning the stuff that you hear about when you, for example, hear the other employees talk about. Go and read about those things. That, for example, I wasn't really sure what RS-232 standard is used for. So I went and read stuff and research so that I can be prepared really for working on projects that involve RS-232, for example. So it was successful. Okay. Any other concerns or questions?
Are you guys having classes more? I have more questions because that's the thing. It's finally after co-op it's one last question, that how can you really make a significant impact on the company even in this 7 months, right? And how can you be somehow remembered, because you are for 7 months and then you will leave, right? And you might come back, you might not, but the question is that how to make a significant impact, how to leave like your fingerprint, your stamp on the company, so they can realize that after some time that, okay, well, Ashraf, he was one of our excellent co-op trainees and these things.
Well, you just work hard.
Yeah.
Because you only have 7 months.
Yeah.
Okay? It's a short period for getting work experience. So it's a short period. You can really work it out full time. So you work hard. You go and find the quests. You don't sit and you wait for other supervisors or anyone to assign you the task. You must be going and finding any way that could lead you to a task. So whenever that happens and you can prove to the company that you are they can rely on you on some task, you will find so many projects that you can be a part of, and you will find that the 7 months is a fruitful period for you. You can learn a lot from it just by searching, for example, for the second, third, the 3 weeks, searching and convincing them that you can do the job. Okay? Hope this clears up.
You want more question? خلاص كفاية. طيب, so I'd like to thank you all of you very, very much. Now, as what we have visually now, I don't know the timing that we are doing. Most of our things is usually not very good. I don't know why. We were not doing it in intention, but really by the end, if we have whatever the quantity is, it's never about quantity, it's about quality. So because I heard that there are some freshman COE students, right? You are. And I don't know about you guys, what is your major, what are you doing? So I hope that you have benefited really from Ashraf. As I second his opinion, really he did an excellent work, mashallah. And it was something from the heart, from the core of computer engineering. So really it was enjoyable for everybody. So I'd like to thank you. This is actually one example of what computer engineers they can do during their co-op. They can do even during his work. So after he completes, he will be working on some project like this.
This will prepare you, of course, for the job market.
Yeah. This
can be a full computer engineer whenever you graduate. Just by graduating and getting your bachelor, you can work as any other engineer in the field.
So this is what we are having, because even here in KFUBM, some people they think something. They came from background that they don't really know what the computer engineering is, right? But what we are doing right now is that we are trying to let you guys, okay, everybody, whether you or whether whoever is watching or whoever is going to tell his friend, that we are doing some amazing stuff here, okay? And you saw this was only in 7 months. So I'd like to thank you very, very much. Stay in touch with us. We have a Facebook group for the Computer Engineering Department, for the Computer Science and Engineering Club. We usually keep in touch using emails, using SKVBM, whatever. This event was organized by the Computer Engineering Department and the Computer Science and Engineering Club. So I'd like to thank you all very much, especially to Ashraf. He's very tired from the project and everything. So thank you all, guys. Thank you. And there are juices, by the way.